Hey guys, it's LegoMatic9, and today I'm doing a very special video. But first, let me get started with a quick story. In the summer of 2012, I was assigned a project from my English class to read some sort of non-fiction book. Now that could have been a biography, a autobiography, or just something that was based off of something that actually happened. So, after reading the list of recommended books, the only one that caught my attention was this book called American Sniper, written by Navy SEAL Chris Kyle. So I did some research on the book and decided to purchase it from Target or something like that. And after I started reading the book, it took me about, I want to say 4 days to finish it, and it was a 300-page or like 380-page book. And it just kept me interested throughout the entire thing. So once I heard that they're making an American Sniper movie, I got really excited. So here for you guys, I have Chris Kyle based on his appearance from American Sniper, the movie. So without further ado, let's jump into the close-up of Chris Kyle. So here is the most lethal sniper in U.S. military history, Chris Kyle. Now, Chris Kyle is being portrayed by Bradley Cooper in the film American Sniper, which is directed by Clint Eastwood, which came out today. I'm seeing it basically right after I post this video, so I'm really excited for the film, mainly because it has a little bit of personal connection to me. But back onto the figure. So Chris Kyle, I made him a tactical M4A1, which was by Tiny Tactical. So what I did here is I took a Tiny Tactical M4 and I glued on all of these parts. So I glued on the optic, the laser sight, the foregrip, and the suppressor, and then I painted it all in a tan color, and then I went over it with some brown to give it more of a kind of a deserty look. So I was originally going to keep this weapon for Chris Kyle, but then I was like, wait, the film's called American Sniper, so why don't I make a sniper? So I went ahead and kind of made a mashup sniper. It's kind of like a combination of the M24 and the TAC 338 snipers that he uses. I was kind of basing it off of both just because no third-party company makes a sniper similar to that. So this has a M21 brick arms body, which has basically everything cut off of it. And I glued on a new magazine on it. I sculpted on the bolt, glued on a new scope for it, glued on some folded up bipod legs right here, and glued on a suppressor. Then I painted it all in a dark tan. Brushed on some brown to give it kind of a dirty effect, and then I added some black specks here and there to show chips in the paint. And then I painted the scope black right there. So I decided to just make this as well. He can't really hold it, but it's just more so of a display piece. So back onto the figure, I'm actually going to remove this weapon for now. So Chris here has a lot of different things added on to him, mainly from Tiny Tactical. So we're going to start off with his legs. His legs have the simple camo pattern that he has in the film, and what I did here is I painted on some boots in some dark tan and some dark brown. I glued on some Tiny Tactical CP knee pads and glued on some cargo pockets as well to the sides, so I think those look pretty nice. His belt is just a standard brown belt with a silver buckle. Then his vest, I really like how his vest turned out. So what I did with the vest is it was just a plain old Tiny Tactical vest, and I glued on 3 AR mag pouches right here. Then I glued on the radio, and then I glued on the push to talk right here. Then he has that tiny LED light there, and then he also has a hydration pack and a grenade pouch glued onto the back, and it's got the little tube running to his torso or the front of him. And then one thing that I really like here is I did paint on the Punisher skull that his Navy SEAL team adapted into their own logo, so I painted that on there because in the movie and in the book he described how they spray painted that onto almost everything, so I decided to paint that on there. It's not the full skull because it is supposed to be on the shirt underneath his vest, so I just wanted to give it that kind of illusion, kind of. So on the legs here, well, not on the legs, on the arms here, I glued on some shoulder pouches. Then he has a watch on this side with all the camouflage pattern. Then he also has the Mark Lee patch painted on there as well. And then the other arm is basically the same thing minus the watch and the patch. So his face is, well, it was the same face I used for my Daryl Dixon figure, but I basically erased pretty much all of it except for the eyes. So I painted on the eyebrows, painted on the beard and the mouth there, and then I also painted on the hair on the back of the head as well. His hat was just a standard Lego baseball cap, which then I painted dark tan and then added the patch up here as well. So that pretty much covers all of the details I included with Chris here. So I want to give him back his weapon. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the close-up on Chris Kyle. So this figure that I made will always be very special to me, mainly because after I read American Sniper, I became really attached with the story. I really liked how Chris told it. It was a very interesting and unique story, and I really enjoyed it. So that's when I heard American Sniper was being made into a movie, I was really excited. So I knew I had to make a figure based on Bradley Cooper's Chris Kyle portrayal. So after I heard a few years back that Chris was killed at a gun range by a Marine who I believe was suffering from PTSD, I was really sad. It really bummed me out because that I think that was the following year after I read the book. I think it was 2013 when that happened. So I was really sad, and it was just kind of heartbreaking because I was really attached to the story. And Chris, after I read the book, Chris was probably one of my personal heroes. So I was really bummed out when I heard that. So yeah, I'm really excited to see American Sniper. I'm really anticipating on seeing how well Bradley Cooper portrays Chris Kyle. I know pretty much every critic's been saying that Bradley Cooper's been the perfect choice. I mean, he looks a lot like him, and he sounds a lot like him, so I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys are too. So that is pretty much it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys later.